Alright, what's up everyone? Today on Benny Cooks we're making Sichuan Boiled Fish, which is basically just like a really spicy, very flavorful fish soup from the Sichuan province of China. It's not a super difficult recipe, but you do need some like specialized ingredients like these dried Sichuan chilies and this Sichuan peppercorn, which you can find maybe at your local grocery store. I couldn't. I had to go to H Mart in Cambridge, which I guess kind of is my local grocery store. But other than that, everything is pretty straightforward. So let's get started. Hey Jacob, what do I do when I want to talk to a girl, but I want to like see her face, not just text? I don't. What do I do here? I snap her. Hey Jacob. What do you call the dude, when they're trying to do a kickoff, he like throws it between his legs, the long snapper. And then I got one more question for you. I got two more questions actually. What happened to Scarlet Witch at the end of Infinity War? Thanos did, what did he do? I can't remember. He snapped her. Alright, and finally, what am I gonna use to make this soup?
You only had 3 fish.
Oh. Okay. I would like to make a correction to that one. I said when they're trying to do a kickoff, I know you don't snap during kickoff. I played football for like 8 years. I just didn't want to refilm it. I meant when they're kicking a field goal or punting. I just kind of fucked up there. That's on me. But I just want everyone to know, like, I know what I'm talking about. Alright, so we're using this red snapper here. I got this at Market Basket. And it's a good white fish for this. So you do need some sort of white fish for this. Cod, I think halibut, but red snapper will work. Why I got the one that is a whole fish? Well, because I wanted to learn how to take apart a whole fish. Because we're not going to use all of this, just the fillets. So what we need is our fish, a knife. Ideally you want some sort of filleting knife. I didn't have one. I went to Best Buy. The only ones they had were like $70 ones, and no, maybe I'll get one for Christmas, right Mom? And then let's go from there. Okay, take one. Did not go super great. There's definitely a lot of meat still left on this bone. This is literally the first time I'm ever doing this. I got stabbed by the bones a couple times. I got some of the meat off. There's probably still bones in that. We'll see. But yeah, so maybe the next one will be better. That's kind of the spirit here. Second attempt, a little better, still not great. Alright, so basically, I'm no expert in this. I don't take my advice. Honestly, don't take my advice in any of this. If you're here for cooking skills, I don't really know what you're doing. But what you do is, this is not safe. You basically, there's a little kind of space right here you can insert your knife into. Once you do that, you kind of go in, cut all the way to this end, cut back to that end, and then just sort of pull back the skin, running your knife along the bottom, right along where the spine is, and then you cut it off that way, cut it off that way, try to take the skin off, and you're good. And you know what? This third one, you actually did a pretty good job. I mean, this looks like a legit, legit fillet of fish. And give me that fillet of fish, give me that fish. So, just like anything, practice makes perfect. And yeah, don't worry, everyone. I wash my hands thoroughly every time I take out my phone to do one of these. And I disinfect my phone and stuff after, in case anyone was concerned. So there you go. That's what you're left with. Some meat. Hopefully minimal amount of scales and little pin bones. But you know what they say, if you're not afraid to eat some fish scales, you're never going to get good at anything. You can quote me on that one. I'm also defrosting some cod because I just don't think that that's enough fish. What can you do? I kind of forgot that when they sold you fish, whole fish, the bones and the head and everything weighed stuff, So we're just making more. All right, so now we're making a little marinade for the fish. So far in there, we've got a 1/4 cup of white wine, about 2 teaspoons of grated ginger, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and next up are 2 tablespoons of kosher salt. Next up, we need some of these Sichuan peppercorns ground up. So we're gonna use this mortar and pestle, and we're just gonna grind them up. And you're kind of more supposed to do it like this gentle. Use a gentle touch and just get them all ground up. So you also need 1 egg white for this, and there's a lot of different ways to get just the egg white alone. You know, you can move it back and forth between the two. I think the easiest way is this. Crack your egg one-handed, grab the yolk, and just pick it up. Don't be a bitch, just do it. Get rid of it. Egg white. Simple. Alright, so we got our cod defrosting now. We got our marinade made, and that's all gonna go in 1 second. So the thing with this recipe is that once it gets going, it moves really fast. So we need to get all of our mise en place, which is a French phrase that roughly translates to get your shit together. It just pretty much means like get all the stuff you need to cook with and all that like ready before you start cooking. It's a really good way to keep yourself organized and have things go smoother, make sure you don't forget anything, things like that.
No.
Yeah. Hey, I need a 3-inch piece of ginger. Can I measure? Can I borrow? That's about 1/3. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So we now got all of our stuff ready. We got some celery and bean sprouts here, fish in the marinade. We got some coarsely chopped garlic, sliced ginger, some of these Sichuan dried chili peppers. Sichuan cuisine is known for being really hot, so I may have used too many. Honestly, I don't even know if I got the right peppers. I don't speak or read that language, so that's what I got. Some more of the Sichuan peppercorns and some fish stock. Bar Harbor. Kind of weird, you got this Sichuan stuff and then fish stock from Maine. Not many Asians in Maine. You know who you are. All right, we're ready to get started, basically. So get some oil in the skillet, and you're gonna cook the bean sprouts and celery first. And just kind of get that in. There you go. See, it's already warming up. I use vegetable oil. Those are all good. You want them to remain pretty crispy because that's what they're bringing to the dish. So next, we're gonna drop these in and get them going until they're pretty fragrant. And we're sort of building this in the bowl as we go. So that's that's kind of what we're doing here. So next, we are adding a couple tablespoons of this gochujang sauce. The recipe actually calls for doubuchang sauce, which I'm pronouncing neither of those correctly. This is the Korean version of the same thing, which I already had from a previous recipe, so I'm just going to use that. They're fairly interchangeable, I think. So yeah. So each step here we're looking at about a minute. So a minute with the the aromatics, and then now we're looking at a minute with the bean paste, and then we're gonna toss the fish stock and the last of the Sichuan peppercorns. It's about another teaspoon ground up. So there you go. It was about 2.5 cups of the fish stock. This thing looks like it's gonna be like molten lava spicy, but we're just gonna go with it. So we're gonna bring this up to a boil, cover, drop it down to a simmer for about 15 minutes, and then we're gonna add the fish and keep going. All right, so that's going. It's gonna go for about 15 minutes, which means we have time now for what I think is everyone's favorite segment, Benny's Kitchen. We got Benny Facts, let's go. We're gonna tell you some facts about Sichuan today. Sichuan is a province in China. It's larger than Germany, but it actually has a similar population. Its biggest city is Chengdu with about 12 million people, which is ranked 7th in size in China. Western and northern Sichuan is a high elevation natural park. It's they got some mountains up to over 24,000 feet tall, so that's pretty insane. That's kind of almost as high as they go when it comes down to it. It's a place to experience Tibetan culture from this ChinaHighlights.com. I'm just not going to get into that. I'm freaked a bit though. Sichuan opera is an important part of Sichuan culture. And I'm sorry if I'm saying this wrong. I totally might be, which is unfortunate. Hot pot is one of my favorite meals, which is we're making a very similar dish to hot pot right now. We're building a soup base, and then we're going to cook our meat in the soup base really quickly. It's thinly cut. it's gonna cook like pretty fast, which is basically sort of the principle of hot pot. And you know, it has 4 popular panda bases, and that was Benny Facts with your facts about Sichuan. We just tossed the fish in. We're gonna let that cook for just a couple of minutes. That's all it takes, especially once this gets boiling. That's why it's called Sichuan Boiled Fish. We're gonna take it out, throw it into our bowl, and reduce the sauce a little bit more I want, and then we're gonna do one more thing, and then we'll be done. And yeah, as you can see, I mean, I'm probably not watching this in real time, but fish is pretty much done. Because it was so small, you know, it only needs to be in there for a few minutes, so we're just gonna scoop it out, use the slotted spoon so we don't end up losing too much of the liquid, and yeah. Alright, so we're just making this last little spice paste topping here, which is some garlic, oil, a couple of these chilies. The recipe said to add like 20 more, but I'm white, so I only added 2. This is already kind of too hot for me. A little bit of, and I quote, red pepper, nice tasty, and some sesame seeds. And we're just gonna dump this right over top of the dish. And there we have it. Sichuan boiled fish. I'm ready to eat this, what looks like hellfire in a bowl. All right, final verdict is it's really good. It is not as spicy as I had.
Spicy.
It's not as spicy. It's not as spicy as I thought.
Why is it spicy?
It's not as spicy as I thought it was gonna be, but it's still pretty spicy. But in all the right ways. It's not like overpowering. It's very, very flavorful. The fish is, you know, tastes like fish. Very good. Great combo. It's just a really flavorful, good dish. Great for like a not this is cold because it's 70 out, but a colder, rainy day. So you know what? This gets A+, highly recommend. Click the link in the bio to watch this all over again on a different platform. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.